So the TECNO Camon 17 is the base model for the new lineup from this TECNO series. And it's one of those budget devices that boasts of some interesting features such as 90Hz refresh rates while coming in at about $150. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts on the smartphone. Obviously after some days of use, the pros, the cons, and so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. The box here comes in this familiar color as that on the Spark 7P, and from within the box is the smartphone itself, which you get to see first. Other items from within the box of this TECNO Camon 17 include the 18-watt fast charger, micro USB connector, and not USB-C in 2021, an earphone, SIM ejection tool, a warranty sticker, and a jelly TPU case. And that's about all you get from within the box. After you take the wraps off the smartphone, you get to see this red that looks familiar, and the color I have here is called the Deep Sea. It's pretty much a deep blue kind of color, and you can also get two other colors, the Frost Silver and the Tranquil Green. Fancy names, yeah? Now, even though I did really love the design from the Camon 16 from last year, which is this device here, this device, the Camon 17, feels sweet, lighter, and simple as far as I can tell, and I'm digging this design. Going over to the rear of the smartphone, you see this long camera module. Obviously a design we are now familiar with, housing a triple camera configuration with its LED flash. This actually looks like 4 cameras though, but what we got here is 3. Beside that is the fingerprint sensor. Down the back is the obvious Camon branding. So guys, go down in the comment section and tell me if this is something you like, or would you have preferred a plain, non-branded rear? And while you're at that, kindly click on that like button along the way. The top of the smartphone is bland, and the bottom houses the mouthpiece opening, 3.5mm headphone port, a micro USB 2.0 port, which isn't it for me. I mean, you should have USB-C in 2021. And also that down-firing speaker grill is what you get at the bottom of the smartphone. Of course, you know what that means. You would be blocking out sound when consuming media or gaming with the smartphone. You get the volume rocker and the power button at the right in well-situated positions, while the dual SIM tray with a dedicated micro SD card slot can be seen to the left side of the smartphone. The front side of the smartphone has the display, a cutout notch for the front-facing camera to the left top corner of the smartphone, a single LED flash which is next to the earpiece opening, and one other thing you should notice about this display is the huge bezels, especially at the bottom side of the front of the display. That's the chin here. You can also find a screen protector film pre-installed on this display. Now speaking of displays, this is an HD Plus that's 720 by 1600 6.6-inch dot-in IPS panel. With a 90Hz refresh rate, one of the major upgrades on the smartphone this year. From within the settings, you can set the display to either 90, 60Hz for a longer battery life, or auto switch, which automatically switches your refresh rate depending on the actual use case. But I've had mine running at 90Hz from the very first day of use, and that's about the least I can go on the smartphone. You can watch videos at up to 1440p on YouTube, which is 2K, and calls from here are quite usable if you ask me. Would I have wanted a better, brighter display? Of course, but hey, to cut down on the price here, this is what you get. As far as specs, you get 4GB of RAM, 128GB of internal storage, and the MediaTek G85 processor, which is a chip that can be compared to the Snapdragon 662 and even scores a little better in benchmark scores. The G85 is a nice gaming processor for entry mid-range devices actually, and coupled with the 90Hz refresh rate from the smartphone, you get a very well-rounded budget gaming device. As far as multitasking, there's nothing really to complain about, especially for a 4GB RAM device. It handles applications in the background as you would expect and nothing more. The Camon 17 here comes with Android 11 and iOS 7.6, which features some tricks like anti-theft, a feature that alerts the user when a charger or earphone is disconnected from the smartphone. There are a couple other features on this version of iOS. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to make a dedicated tips and trick video for the TECNO Camon 17. Also, as far as security and lock options, you can use the pin, pattern, the trusted biometric fingerprint sensor at the rear here, which is really fast for what it is, and the not so trusty face unlock feature. I mean, it's there and it does work, but wouldn't really be my go-to form of security for the smartphone. A 5000 mAh battery capacity is what you get with the Camon 17. It definitely would last you through a day of use, as has been the case here for me. especially if you're a regular user and gaming all day isn't what you do with your smartphone. With the 18-watt fast flash charge feature on the smartphone, you get to charge this device from 0 to 100 in about 2 hours, which is definitely a good thing. Also, that LED in front of this smartphone doesn't serve as a charging indicator when you plug these devices to power, just like you get from the TECNO Spark 7P. Now, if you want to see a comparison between the Spark 7P and the TECNO Camon 17, let me know in the comment section too. I'll make a video for that. Now let's talk about the cameras here. The rear has this triple camera setup or configuration, and these are a 48 megapixel main lens, a depth sensor which should be 2 megapixel, and a third camera or sensor which I think should aid in low light photos. So there's no provision for like an ultra wide or telephoto lens. Photos are clean with good dynamic range. In fact, when compared to the predecessor, the Camon 16, you can't tell that there's an upgrade in image processing. The photos here look truer to life, are sharper, and have better level of saturation. Separation from background is up there for the smartphone and takes very much usable portrait shots. The front-facing camera, on the other hand, is an 8 megapixel sensor, which does a decent job in terms of the camera, color reproduction, and also details in the shadow. The low light feature isn't left out on here, as the super night mode brings back details to images you would otherwise find useless with a regular AI cam mode, and that's a good thing. Videos on both the front and rear cameras can be recorded at up to 2K in resolution, and that seems to give clearer and better quality videos when compared to the 1080p resolution. I usually did prefer 1080p videos from TECNO devices in the past when compared to the higher resolution, but this seems to have changed with the recent devices from the brand. Hey guys, Oscarmini here, and this is my front-facing camera video test for the TECNO Camon 17. And I'm seeing this eye autofocus thingy happening here. What do you guys think about this color reproduction, the exposure from this front-facing camera, and also the audio you guys are hearing from here, from this device? Let me know in the comment section below. That's a white wall behind me, actually. Wow, this is actually overexposed. Now this camera is trying to expose for my face, and hence it's overexposing the sky behind me and everything seems white. Let me turn this way and see what I get. Still about the same. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I got my unit here for around $150 or 74,000 Naira here in Nigeria. And that's definitely a great buy for the price. So what are my final thoughts on the TECNO Camon 17? iOS with lots of bloatware, ads on the notification pane, micro USB. These are some of the things I'm not pleased with on this device. I know these are on here to keep the cost a little low for the smartphone, but I'd personally pay a little more to get those fixed for the device. In fact, if you're coming from the vanilla Camon 16, I'd hold off getting the Camon 17 and rather add up some money for the TECNO Camon 17 Pro variant, as that's a reasonable buy or upgrade for you. But as far as pricing for what you get, the cameras, the battery capacity, and how this smartphone handles gaming, and maybe let's say you're coming from maybe the Spark or the Pova series, then you could give the TECNO Camon 17 a shot and wouldn't feel bad you did. So what do you guys think about this review for the TECNO Camon 17? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Cool that day.